Funding for this program was provided in part by Louisiana Healthcare Connections, committed to delivering quality healthcare through local, regional, and community-based partners.
Additional funding provided by the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting.
Glen Post is a man described by many as humble and unassuming, a regular guy.
You know, you wouldn't have been able to tell sitting in the room who was the boss and who was just some guy just doing some work.
Yet, what this lifelong northeastern Louisiana resident has done with a small telecommunications company that had its beginnings in the rural cotton fields of Oak Ridge, Louisiana, is nothing short of remarkable. After graduating in 1976 with a master's in business administration from Louisiana Tech University, Glen joined CenturyTel and quickly caught the attention of company founder Clark Williams.
I think Mr. Williams not only molded him in his business career, but helped shape his character as well.
After a few short years with the company, Glen began traveling and working on acquisitions with Williams. In 1990, Post became president and chief operating officer.
When you put Glen with Mr. Williams as the two CEOs that have guided this company, and they brought it from the parlor of Mr. Williams' home to the third largest telecommunications firm in the country, that's quite an accomplishment.
And if you spend a little bit of time on CenturyLink's campus, you'll see a core set of values that guides Glen, that guides all of the employees there. And they're things like honesty and fairness and integrity and a real focus on excellence.
If there is a theme to Glen Post's life, it's love and concern for other people, putting other people first, and a real humility.
If you look, more broadly, more historical, Glen's a person of deep faith. So his Christian faith means a lot to him.
I think that Micah 6 describes him. What does God require of man? And that's to live justly, to have mercy, and to walk humbly with God. And I think that's who he is.
It was at church that 19-year-old college freshman Glen Post first met 17-year-old high school senior Cynthia Smith. They married 3 years later and have been together for 38 years. The Posts have 3 grown sons and 9 grandchildren.
Glen Post is a man who lives with purpose and passion, and he loves to hunt ducks, deer, turkey, and he loves to fish.
Glen Post is responsible for more dead ducks than any other CEO in the Fortune 500. He's a hardworking guy. He's a family guy, he's a community guy, and I think he's done a great job building CenturyLink, and I think he's a great example of really what's the best part about the people from Louisiana.
Good evening and welcome to Louisiana Legends. I'm Beth Courtney, and when we created the biography of Glen Post for the Louisiana Legends Gala, we only touched on a few of his many accomplishments. Today we have the opportunity to speak to the man himself here in his offices in Monroe. And Glen, I have to tell you, this is the largest, I think, table I've ever seen behind us here in your room. We are here at the wonderful campus of CenturyLink, and you're expanding, are you not?
We are. We're building a new, we call our Technology Center, Center of Excellence, and we are looking forward to housing about 800 new employees in that building, and we're looking forward to the benefits that'll bring us.
Well, that's a wonderful thing for the people of Monroe and for Louisiana as well. But I have to tell you, when you acquired Quest and some of the other companies, I understand that some of the folks in Denver were sort of like, I'm not sure we want to, where is Monroe, Louisiana? Did you have some resistance on that?
We did. We had a lot of folks questioning Monroe and whether we should have a headquarters here and could we buy a company as large as Quest and still be headquartered in Monroe. But it's gone well, and a lot of those folks now are with us here in Monroe. That probably some of those were questioning that at the time.
What did they think? Did they have some erroneous impressions of Louisiana? When when you say you're from Monroe, what do people think?
Yeah, I think they thought this was a really backwoods type place to live, and maybe in some ways you might call it that, but it's really an outstanding place to live and raise a family and build a company.
And why have you always thought that it was so important to stay here, stay close to home? You could have gone somewhere else. You were born in Farmerville, Union Parish.
That's right.
Went to school here. Did you ever have dreams of going elsewhere?
Beth, our company started here. It was Clark Williams founded the company in Oak Ridge, actually,
right.
and we moved to Monroe. We've obviously thought about would it be better to headquarter our company in other places, but after looking at all the alternatives, we decided this was the best place we could be to grow CenturyLink. We have outstanding employees here. We've been able to recruit some of the best people in our industry to Monroe. It's not always easy, but we do end up getting a large percentage of the people we want and need here. The other thing is once people come to Monroe and work for us here, they don't want to leave often. And we have folks who actually came here and either retired here or they took other jobs. They did not want to leave Monroe. They're still here. So the quality of life here is great. We have 3 outstanding universities plus a community college in this area. We have great outdoor sports, entertainment. We have these universities provide lots of activities and football and other sports as well. And just the atmosphere here, how cordial the people are and hospitable the folks are. It makes a difference in people's lives. This is a great place to raise a family and to live.
Well, certainly I have to say that there's a whole new appreciation of an avocation that you are concerned with, and that would be duck hunting now. I mean, around the country, I guess the #1 program is based here in West Monroe, and do you yourself know the duck commander?
I do. I know Phil and Kay and their family. I sure do, and they're great people. They brought a lot of attention to Monroe, that's for sure. And I do love to duck hunt. It's a great sport and something I've done for a number of years, and it's part of my life to a great extent.
When did you first start? When you were really young?
I duck hunted some when I was really young. At that point in time, my dad was a deer hunter, so I deer hunted. But probably about 15 years ago, I really got, started duck hunting in a bigger way. Maybe 20 years ago, probably.
Was it being outside that's just a wonderful thing? You probably are inside in all kinds of conference meetings and all the time. Being outside in the outdoors, is that important to you?
Yeah, I love being outdoors, seeing the sunrise, just being out is important to me. And also with hunting, it's not just the killing of the game, harvesting the game. It's more about the relationship, getting ready to hunt, getting the places ready, and being with the people who share that passion.
Well, you have, is it 9 grandchildren now?
9 grandchildren.
9 grandchildren. We have plenty of people to teach how to
That's
do
right.
a little bit of this as you're going. Well, are you intending to grow this company even larger? I think it's the 3rd largest is that right? The 3rd largest telecommunication
That's correct.
Company in the United States. Are you intending on it being larger?
I think there will be opportunities to grow. We don't think we have to grow. There's not a need now to grow for scale. We have lots of scale. But I think there will be opportunities to grow this company through acquisition as well as through the internal growth that we can generate.
Well, you began as a basically rural phone company, and then you acquired more rural phones, and now this business, I'm in a little bit of the business, is changing so dramatically. Are you focusing now on storage of information and data? Is that one of the big thrusts?
Well, our industry has changed from just a straight analog communications to an IP, IT, information technology type world, and we have to change with that. And everything we do is tied to information technology, to internet protocol type communications and technology. And our company is changing. It's not just about voice and data communications. It's about all the IT type services. So we're expanding into what we call data hosting and cloud computing, which we think will have a big impact on the future of this nation and the world, really. And we're one of the largest companies in that sector today, and we expect that to grow rapidly.
My appreciation is that one of the things we worry about so much is this, and talked about the cyber command was going to be over there at Bossier. A portion of it went over there, and that is security. It won't be bombing a country or anything like that, but you could shut down everything by actually invading the data networks and security. That's something that I think you went to the White House to a conference, did you?
Right, we did. Cybersecurity is a huge issue for this country, for this nation, for the world, actually.
Right.
And CenturyLink is a leader in the cybersecurity efforts that are going on in this country and around the world right now.
What do you think about those people hacking in, It's troublesome.
It is troublesome, and it's continual. It's something that happens every day. People around the world, it's criminal activity basically, and it's going on continually. And we're a part of that effort to stop that and to keep it from hurting people and individuals in our country as well.
You're known as a soft-spoken gentleman, but you've acquired a lot of companies. Are you soft-spoken when you go in there for that acquisition as well?
Oh yeah, I try to be, not to be too emotional about it.
Yeah.
It has to do. You have to build relationships with people. Building trust is very important, whether it's buying a company or leading a company. So I think that's a big part of what we are. Now, there's no need to be shouting and hollering about stuff. So.
Well, Clark Williams, I think there's some core principles you have in this company, and you elicit them. What are they, some of them? Yeah.
Well, honesty, integrity, fairness, the golden rule, treating others as you want to be treated, respect for individuals, commitment to excellence, faith, perseverance, respect for people.
And those are things you carry on even into a $20 billion, is it $20 billion annual now?
Well, over 18 billion.
Approaching,
yeah.
approaching
Right.
20 billion.
Yeah, those principles that we were serious about them. They are, every employee, we talk with them about these principles. They know that they're part of who we are. I think they're a key reason, at least adhering to these principles is a key reason for our growth and success over the years. They create a foundation upon which our employees can trust each other and build this company upon. And we know where we are and what our culture is about. So I think these principles are very important to CenturyLink.
How is the state of Louisiana? Have they been helpful in growing you? Because we hear every day, about, there was an announcement just recently in Shreveport about a German company coming this week, I think, a pipe company. Were they helpful to keeping Century?
Yeah, the state of Louisiana has been very helpful with our staying here in Louisiana and growing here in Louisiana. The state, the governor, the legislature, all the governing bodies, the local governing bodies as well, have been very helpful and supportive, and that makes a big difference when you're trying to grow a company and locate or keep your headquarters in an area. We had opportunities to go anywhere in the country. We had offers from lots of cities to come here, and we have lots of benefits for you, tax benefits and other building support, those kind of things, and we chose to stay here.
When you look out into the future, it seems that Louisiana is banking a lot now on natural gas because we have an abundant, natural resources. For a while, we were talking about, blue ocean and doing different kinds of things, but it seems like we're focusing on our resources and then growing. That's the manufacturing sector. What's your impression about that? Is that your impression as well?
I think that's right. We're focusing on our own natural resources, the things we do well. And opening up Louisiana from a tax, from a supportive position for growing businesses in this nation and in this state. I really believe that the focus needs to be on how do we improve lives for the people of Louisiana. That's what we want to do is for CenturyLink here is making this a great place to live where there's a high quality of life, good jobs are available, and a good place to raise a family where folks want and really have reasons to live here.
Well, what do you, as a company, you all, I know, help Teacher of the Year, you're involved with United Way. What are some of the things you can do? Well, certainly, I know you're very active in your church as well, which is an important thing in this part of the world. What are some of your philanthropies as a company in Northeast Louisiana?
Well, we really try to help people who can't help themselves, children, those who are not able to have the things they need in life, the older people that are the elderly, folks who really have a real need there. And then we believe in helping education. We're big in supporting education in the state and around the nation and wherever we operate. Those communities, we want those communities to be great places to live. Education is a big part of that. And then just helping those who are poor don't have what they need.
Well, I know that you early on weren't involved in the whole creation of content like a cable company. You weren't doing a lot of content, but now you're involved in content as well, are you not?
We have some content, although it's more of the content we're providing is with partnering with other companies. We don't see ourselves as being a company that creates a lot of content.
You're not going to become a Netflix or some of the people who are doing content.
We're going to deliver the content and make this tie our country together with the communications capabilities that we provide.
I certainly know that communication following hurricanes and everything were awfully important, and that's one of the things we think a lot about too, is connecting communities, and you can play a huge role in that, in disasters, I would imagine.
That's right. And it's all about just helping improve the lives of the people of the country. That's how we think about our company. How can we take the technologies that we provide, the service we provide, and improve lives here? And we help keep families connected, we help businesses grow, we help protect our nation, we help law enforcement stay connected. So those are important things for the future of this country.
You have traveled certainly a lot because as you've gone around obviously looking at other companies and doing things, but I was talking to Governor Foster, who really, like you, just likes to hunt mainly, and when he was governor didn't want to travel anywhere. He always would tell me that. He'd just come back, I think, from Canada. Are there some places you actually like to travel? Or?
Yeah, I like to travel. I like to Southern California. I like that, and all around the coast. I like the mountains. So a lot of places I like to go to.
Well, that's one thing we don't have, mountains in Louisiana. Right. You can do, we don't have a mountains or a beach. So tell me about a little bit inside. You and your wife have been married a good many years, but was it love at first sight? She was such a wonderful lady. I love meeting her. How is her wrist, by the way?
She's doing great.
She's doing great.
Yes,
I know she had broken it. You all met when you were very young.
We did. We met through church. She actually lived in Mississippi, but her grandparents were the same church that I went to, a little small church, and we met at the church, started dating, and when we were in college, and really never broke up.
Well, that's so. How has your family adjusted to this growth of this huge company? I'm sure that when you sign on early on, you don't know that that's what it's going to be like life later on.
I think they've adjusted well. It's kind of been the same for them from the beginning. Maybe I work too much, but other than that, they've adjusted well to that.
Well, Clark Williams certainly was an extraordinary person, was he not?
He's a great man. He really was. A mentor for me, and just a man who cared about people and who did things the right way.
When you were in school, there are jobs now when you're studying, so you have a child in college or looking for a career. There are careers now that we just didn't even imagine that would be there. Did you imagine you were going to be an engineer of some sort, or what? You went to Tech, so...
I went to Tech. I have a degree in accounting and an MBA. Mm-hmm. But, I came out of school, never thought I would be even CEO of CenturyLink when we were in a $50 million revenue company, much less $18.3 billion. So it's not something you plan for. At least I didn't plan for it. I didn't think it was even a possibility at the time, but things happen for a purpose.
So when you were walking up to the White House, I got to go there, luckily, for we were taping a big concert up there, and I was walking up and I was pinching myself, thinking, this is not real. Yeah. Did you think that when you were headed into that conference, that you could never imagine that would be the case?
I don't really think about that. It's just life is, it happens over time. You kind of adjust to your new positions, but mainly it's about the people. I'm always appreciative of the people who support CenturyLink, the communities we serve, our customers. That's really what it's about, is recognizing the people who help you get here and not lose sight of that.
Do people actually call you? Do they actually get to the CEO and say, I would like to complain about this service?
Oh, yeah, I get lots of those calls, emails especially, but I follow them, every one of them. I don't call the customers back. I'd be calling all the time, but I do get those to the people who do follow up on all those issues. So.
You say sometimes you're at everybody's slave. You're running from event to event.
That's right.
But I think it's nice to be able to actually hear from your customers.
Oh yeah, you need to hear from them.
Are you a social networking person? Are you on Facebook or Twitter or all those things?
I don't do much Facebooking and Twitter.
No?
I have an account, but I don't. I just monitor it, look at it once in a while.
Cloud storage is the way you think it's the way it's going to be, because certainly digital storage now you can put on your thumb drive an awful lot, can't you?
That's right.
That's astounding.
That's exactly right. Well, it's there's so much data out there, so much information that, and we talked about cybersecurity earlier.
Right.
People need to store it, protect it, be able to access it, and that's one of the things we're doing with our cloud computing, data hosting efforts, is providing that service for people, and it's a need that's growing and will continue to grow into the many years ahead.
So it will be for not only for businesses but for individual customers.
That's right. It'll be for
so
both.
You have all of your pictures from everything when you're trying to save it, and you don't want your computer to crash and lose everything.
That's true. Yeah. Today, what we do is more for businesses. Of course, it's a bigger scale, but eventually, the individuals use our service as well. There are services out there, of course, for today for storing your information. But right now we actually are in the business of storing huge amounts of data and being able to access huge amounts of data, and also how do we help people utilize that data well.
What do you read? Do you read a nonfiction, when you're playing, like beside your bed, would you have like some computer books, or would you have, probably have the Bible?
Yeah.
Do you also have, do you read for
Well, I read for tons of information work related. So that's where I spend a lot of time. The Bible is beside my bed. I read it a lot in related books. I read a little. I enjoy fiction. I just don't seem to have the time. But with the level of change in this industry, technology and regulation, changing with competition in this industry, I spend a lot of time.
Any biographies of famous people to see how they've addressed things? I always find that fascinating.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln, I've read some about him especially, and there are others, but he's one that kind of stands out.
Stands out for you. Have you met Bill Gates and some of the other?
I've met Bill Gates and some of the other pretty famous CEOs I have.
And so AT&T and is it Verizon are right up there.
Right.
Are we going to see CenturyLink, inching up there? Have you met the presidents of those companies?
Oh
as
yeah,
well?
they're friends of mine. Those CEOs are friends of mine. Yeah.
Are you on a big council together of some sort?
We're on some different councils together, teams together, but we see each other occasionally and talk occasionally.
Well, for me, it has been such a pleasure being here and seeing your facility and your warm people here in North Louisiana. I love it, and we thank you so much for visiting with us.
Thank you, Beth, and thank you for your comments. We have a great team of people, the employees really make this company, and I'm proud of them and appreciative of what they do.
Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Louisiana Legends. Thank you so much, Glen, for making a contribution to Louisiana, and thank you for watching us. Good evening.
Thank you, Beth.
For a copy of this program, call 1-800-973-7246 or go online to www.lpb.org.
Funding for this program was provided in part by Louisiana Healthcare Connections, committed to delivering quality healthcare through local, regional, and community-based partners.
Additional funding provided by the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting.